TWM podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your drinks down the mall because we have another debut here on the Wednesday Night Awards podcast for one night only. Maybe, I don't know, I can't seem to nail down a co-host with me. I've got him alone for Monday Night Raw. It's Mr. Joe Kingley.
Hello everybody. George, thank you very much for using my kayfabe name.
You're welcome.
Even though I don't bother it, I flip-flop on that like more often than I flip-flop on that more often than they flip-flop on a Raul Mendoza push.
Oh, very nice. Very, very topical as well with the NXT theme on that one.
Can I just say something very earnest before I go about very clearly ruining your life, because that's what I do to every main host. I've wanted to contribute to one of these podcasts for ages because I subscribe to the TWM philosophy that wrestling should be positive, and Wednesday nights for a very long time, even though I quite often don't have the time to watch both shows, has been awesome. So I'm very, very thrilled to be here.
Well, it's lovely to have you here with us, Joe, for episode number 11 of the Wednesday Night Wars podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Acast, Podbean, and YouTube, and anywhere else you do get your podcast from. What am I talking about? SquaredCirclebox.com. I've got it right this time, so wrote it down. TWM News for 10% off your first order. I've had a couple, and I'm actually very, very happy with them. I got Top Trumps in my last one.
Ooh,
who doesn't?
Nice.
I know, right? And a Big Boss Man DVD.
That I'm less enthused about.
And I can't remember what the t-shirt was now. Oh, it was an Elite t-shirt. With Chris Jericho. With the Chris Jericho on it as well.
Very like the only thing I would have been happy if it about is if you had gotten the t-shirt.
No, I didn't. I've had two t-shirts from them. One was Sue Young and one was the Elite.
Oh, you mean Poppy?
No. Yes.
Someone's not been watching Impact and or listening to Best of the Rest on Fridays.
The Impact Poppy. That's what she's known as. Right. Let's stop waffling on, Joe. Let's get cracking into NXT.
Sounds good.
Don't you forget about Finn. Interesting. Finn Balor was actually the winner of the triple threat match last night between himself, Keith Lee, and Tommaso Ciampa to face Adam Cole, for the NXT World Championship next week, which I think was a really interesting pick to go with because of how hot Keith Lee's been.
Yes, I genuinely believe it was the wrong decision. It was the wrong decision in terms of who is the most over in the match. It was the wrong decision in terms of story, plot. Tommaso Ciampa, Goldie. He has literally never taken his eyes off it, even when they were theoretically on the same side in Survivor Series. He only had eyes for one thing. It is the wrong choice in terms of conventional wrestling ethics, because, you don't put a heel and a heel up against each other. It's just very strange. However, I'm here for it. I'm fully here for it. Adam Cole.
I think the match is going to be incredible.
Oh yeah, 100%. They clearly just wanted a really big show to send off on Christmas, because it's Christmas on a Wednesday this year.
Wednesday.
Yeah, so
Christmas is Wednesday.
Yeah, so there's going to be no show. So their Christmas show is the week before, and they're both
unless they pre-record.
I don't think they're going to pre-record. I don't think there's going to be time to air anything on Christmas Day on either channel, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a fair point. That's a fair point.
How many Christmas parades does America have? I don't know.
An infinite amount.
An infinite amount, exactly.
But yeah, that's about. From this match, I gauged that Finn Balor is the king of reversals. He reversed a jackhammer into a roll-up, which was pretty smooth, and then reversed a spirit bomb into a double foot stomp.
Yep.
It was a very good match, a really good match. I do agree with you how I think Keith Lee should have won. But it was just a really, really, really good match. Balor won after hitting the coup de grace on Lee, as Lee plants Ciampa with a spirit bomb. He sort of looks up and here comes Finn flying through the air. Can you see Balor beating Cole?
No. Just no. I mean, it'd be interesting. I mean, I think that the match that we all want is all four of these people in the ring together fighting for something, which means very much to
I feel really bad for Dominik Dijakovic.
I don't.
Sorry, go on.
I don't. I don't.
Continue with what you were saying.
I really genuinely don't feel that bad for Dominik Dijakovic, and the reason why I don't feel that bad for Dominik Dijakovic is because Keith Lee has, obviously their range of matches were incredible, right? And Dominik Dijakovic, I'm not actually criticizing him in terms of what I'm about to say, but Keith Lee has it, and he has it in the way that I can translate in a really small venue where he can just hit perfect musical notes when he sings, "Oh my God," or he can seem like a legitimate threat against this generation's version of John Cena.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, I do, yeah. I felt a little bit bad for Dijakovic because he sort of wasn't even considered in this match, and obviously he'd been somewhat involved in that storyline, but I don't think he does deserve to be in there.
Dominik Dijakovic's current arc, in my opinion, is Roderick Strong.
Yes.
Yeah,
actually, that's a good point. Time will come for him, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure time will come, but I can't. I am not too sure about Balor being the new champion because I don't want them to flop off, like give it to Balor and then for him to just be a transitional champion to Keith Lee. I want them to take Balor seriously.
What I find interesting is that you glossed over Ciampa completely. Ciampa's entire reason for being is that championship face all heel. I honestly thought we might see a Gargano to turn up to screw Finn out of it. That was actually one of the only ways I could see Finn not winning.
The thing is, when's their next pay-per-view? Worlds Collide, and then after that it's the NXT TakeOver Miami, right?
Trees. Yeah.
Trees. So I could see that being the time where we may get all of these people, like NXT TakeOver Portland in February. I would like to see Trees. Adam Cole retain against Balor next week, and then there to be like a 4-way ladder match, or 5-way, or 6-way if you get Dijakovic involved and Johnny Gargano comes back. 6-way ladder match, and that is where Adam Cole does end up losing the title.
I think if we're going to get Gargano interference, it will be during this title match. To set up.
Yeah, I can see him coming back and costing. Yeah, no, sounds. There you go. Book it. Or me and Joe, book it.
Yes, book everything. Everything I say.
You cowards. Exactly. Talking of championships, though, one changed last night in one of the best TV matches I have seen in a very long time. Angel Garza defeated Lio Rush to win the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. Championship match? He win the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. It was just a phenomenal match.
What a match.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Just an absolute banger.
Like, why is Angel Garza everything that they claim Humberto Carrillo is? It's like they got the wrong family member.
Yeah, it's his cousin. Like,
that's just what I'm saying.
Maybe the same.
Yeah, so they definitely got the wrong family member.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, they've gone for the wrong one. I was going to say they've gone for a more handsome one, but Angel Garza's more handsome than Humberto Carrillo. Yeah. Really good end though. At one point, Lio Rush hit the wing clipper, which is Angel Garza's finisher, and Angel Garza obviously kicks out of 2. Angel Garza hits the wing clipper.
You're skimming over the fact that Lio Rush only did that in response to Angel Garza hitting the come up.
Yes. Yeah. Apologies, I did miss that bit.
No, but like it's a key part of the story of the match that they're more or less evenly evenly matched, and Angel Garza's such a shit. He started stealing Lio Rush's moves. He even stole the Spanish Fly, which is obviously.
I don't think that's anyone's property.
It's not really anyone's property, but it's more Lio Rush's signature move than Angel Garza's. Even though you'd think Angel Garza would be the one to do it more up. It was a beautiful match. I enjoyed the story very much.
It was a fantastic match, and yeah, like I say, Angel Garza hit the wing clipper on Lio Rush. Lio Rush kicked out at 2, so he looked in what was basically a submission move in the same hold as the wing clipper is put in, and Rush very, very quickly tapped out. So yeah, it was just a really good finish. Like, it looks like a nice brutal submission move for him to add to his arsenal. And like Joe says, they're so evenly matched, it just makes it look like they are. He has to go to that sort of level to defeat him.
Like, they overuse Fight Forever, but can they?
We all thought Keith Lee and Dijakovic should fight for these two. The one spot I absolutely loved was Lio Rush being in the electric chair.
Yeah.
Garza throwing him off him, and he hits a come up.
Oh yeah, that was flawless.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Despite Lio Rush's many faults in terms of his personal, his prior personal problems we had with Lashley, that basically. He is a phenomenal competitor, and I'm so happy to see him in such a good place at the moment in terms of on the card of NXT's cruiserweight division. What was more interesting happened in the ad break. Angel Garza broke the hearts of every single female in that arena and on TV, on YouTube, by proposing to his girlfriend, and she said yes, which is obviously lovely. Congratulations to the pair of them. I really hope that was not pre-approved and that was all genuine, but knowing WWE, they were engaged 6 months ago. He was acting like a babyface in this segment.
I'm sorry, if you're about to propose to your wife, you can't be a dick, can you?
Yeah, very true. But he was more babyface than but that's the thing. He acts very charming, and then he obviously does dicky things. But he said that in wrestling, in his life, the 4 most important things are, in this order: wrestling,
oh my God,
the NXT universe, his family, and then his girlfriend, who was at the bottom.
No, did he say in this order, or did he say his 4 most important things to him?
That's the 4 most. He said that's the 4 most important things. Obviously, that was leading up, but that was.
No, I'm not sure he said in this order. If he had said in this order, well, then she should have said no. She should have said no. She should have said no.
Obviously, it was his comment of the NXT universe is one of the most important things, kind of made him act a little bit more like a face in the situation. It was obviously a YouTube exclusive, or WWE exclusive, whatever you want to call it. He got her, obviously led her to the ring, sat on the middle rope for her to come down, and she tried to go for the bottom one.
Oh yes, it reminds me of something else we saw today. So we're going to cover it on the podcast, but
yes.
Do you think we're getting a double turn, kind of ish? Because
I like Lio Rush more as a heel, because he
is
such a smarmy dick.
Yeah, exactly. He's naturally just that dickhead. He's naturally the. This is very specific, right? It's very specific, but every time you go out to a certain kind of club, there's always a certain kind of person and that you can't miss because they're so loud.
Yeah.
Yeah? And Lio Rush is just that guy. Or girl. I've seen it being a girl before. But yeah, it's just that guy.
The hype man is real. And yeah, well, congratulations to Angel Garza for not only winning the NXT Championship, to getting engaged to his future wife, who I'm assuming is a lovely person. Very, very lovely image to end that YouTube video of him holding the title and her putting her ring right next to the title belt. Basically, just broke every female wrestling every female wrestling fan's heart.
And a few guys out there as well. I know.
And a few guys, yeah.
I follow a few people that say that Angel Garza has got that wagon. Like literally people.
It's him whipping his trousers off. That's what it is.
No, it's not. Literally in the opposite of. Well, obviously that's helping, but literally, I've seen a couple of guys and a couple of girls counterplay the article by Shad Breppards did last week and Angel Garza featured pretty regularly in those counter lists.
Oh, is that list of his best arses?
Yeah. I can't believe he said it.
Yeah. That guy's a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, of course we are.
Getting sidetracked.
Of course we are. It's me and you, George.
Fair point. It's a very fair point. We had to drink because of the debut of Joe on this podcast. Drink again because there was a debut on NXT of Travis Banks.
Yeah.
They're really hyping up this Worlds Collide tournament, aren't they?
No, I think it's sick. I think.
Oh yeah, so do I.
I think that the concept of the fact that they've elevated it to the point of what it was, especially if they keep the same step of the tournament as last time, that'd be dope. Also, the Forgotten Sons have been lobbying for a match against British Strong Style, which I want.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, that's tasty.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not that tasty. Forgotten Sons are trash, but
oh yeah, they are. Yeah. Well, no, 2 of the Forgotten Sons are trash.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
Trash was the one in this match by Travis Banks, and that's Jackson Riker, who did lose, obviously the former Gunner from TNA, who is such a significantly larger man than Travis Banks. Yeah. And all it took was one enziguri.
Well, no, it's the slice of heaven. It's his finisher. But I did appreciate the way that this match went. It was the man with the charisma of a literal movie star versus Travis Banks, which is crazy to say if you're considering or talking about the Forgotten Sons here. But Travis Banks looks like an absolute monster.
Oh, he is an absolute star. You also interrupted me, but when you said that was his finisher, I just regret saying he's the strongest member of the Forgotten Sons.
Oh yeah, true.
No, Travis Banks looked like an absolute star in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm not always sure about the way that WWE books him, but you're right, he did. And here's the rehabilitation of Travis Banks under their banner, because standing on the ramp, looking up at the Forgotten Sons, blood streaming from his eye. Yeah, he got some nasty cut to the face. Yep.
He definitely managed to power through. I could see him being a very, very viable winner of Worlds Collide.
Yes.
I don't think you know when it is.
January it's January. It's the Saturday before the Rumble. I think it's the 27th. 25th even. There we are. 27th is the Raw after the Rumble. I'm sorry, everyone.
It's okay. You're forgiven, Joe. You're very much forgiven. So we've had a debut of Joe on the podcast, a debut of Travis Banks on NXT, and now we've got a return of Samir and Sunil, the Singh brothers, returning to NXT for the first time in 3 years, I want to say, maybe 2, losing to Breezango. And please do this now, WWE, make Breezango the NXT Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, they've got a win. They've got momentum. I'm very upset about this match.
Why?
This match could have been, I'd say, 50% funnier, considering the talent in it.
Yeah, that is true. They're all 4 men are very, very good at the comedy.
Yeah, and I get it. I get it. This isn't called the Wednesday night stand-up routine, but a little less, a little variety in the stuff that you offer. I mean, sure, fine. Do this, and it was a straight WWE style tag match, which is fine. That's it's the McDonald's of wrestling for me. I mean, it's not great, but it's always such a constant standard that you generally enjoy it. And
it's always accessible.
But it was like a McDonald's special, because Breezango came out with some moves I didn't even know that they had.
The Breezango's entrances just get better week on week on week. They came out dressed as doctors. There was a heartbeat monitor that was really fucking loud.
Everyone thought it was Ciampa and popped too early. It was amazing.
It was pretty funny. There was 2 nurses there See Breezango come out, look at the ring, and both the nurses just take off their trousers. Like their scrub trousers, and then they've got their gear on underneath. Oh, perfect.
Speaking of
stethoscopes and everything.
I'm actually going to do some Googling right now, but while you carry on talking about. Speaking of, my favourite thing in their entrance is Beth Phoenix just unwittingly reading off innuendos.
Beth Phoenix is rapidly growing to be my favourite.
Yeah, it's just like whenever Breezango, I was talking to Breezango earlier, and they said that they give me a personal flu shot. And they said they'd take their temperature with their special thermometer. Aren't they nice? It wasn't exactly that, but it was something similar.
Oh, that is brilliant. We got a really, really good match between Dakota Kai and Mia Yim. Back at War Games. Mia Yim was attacked and removed from the match because of Dakota Kai. So Mia Yim had some problems with Dakota Kai. Dakota attempted to use the knee brace that she took from Tegan Knox. Referee gets involved. Whilst the referee is trying to get rid of the brace, and for some reason Mia Yim is talking to the referee. I don't know why. Dakota Kai removes the turnbuckle cover. Very gingerly whips Mia Yim into it and then pins her for the 3. Straight away after the match, Mia Yim is just on her and just battering her again, and back suplexes her through 2 tables from an elevated platform, which is where the tech people are. So it's a pretty gnarly ending to that match with that back suplex. I felt sorry for Dakota Kai having to go backwards and not know where she's going.
Well, she was it 8 stitches?
Yes, something like that. Yeah,
I think that if you want to keep Dakota Kai from moving up the card too quickly, this is the best way to do it.
Having her taken out, or having her just feud with the people she screwed over.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you on that one.
Both these things, yes. Just because if she beats all the people that wronged her, then she's going to end up at Shayna far too quickly. Well,
it might not be Shayna, it might be Rhea.
But no, that's the money feud.
What, Dakota Kai and Rhea Ripley?
Yes,
that is
the money feud, isn't it?
Yeah, I want that.
Yeah, like Rhea Ripley is literally the reason why Dakota Kai is like this now.
Yes, that is true. It's coming full circle. Yeah, Captain Cope is going to be NXT Women's.
Exactly. And
I'm getting on Matt's train.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I'm not on the train, but it just makes sense in terms of story. Like I've got my faves, but if it makes no sense for them to be at the top of the card, I don't say anything in it.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. We did get some hype packages for Baszler and for Ripley, their match next week. And I'm just really excited for that match because I feel like that is going to be Rhea Ripley winning and Shayna Baszler moving over to Raw to feud with Becky Lynch by winning the Women's Raw Rumble in January.
Yeah, that's definitely on the cards, isn't it? Definitely on the cards.
Yeah. Speaking of Raul Mendoza, in the intro, well, he defeated Cameron Grimes after a botched Hurricane Rana and then hit the proper Hurricane Rana because Cameron Grimes got distracted by Kushida.
He's just the biggest fed.
Yeah,
I don't like.
I think. Go on.
I just don't like Kushida, man. I don't know what.
I like Kushida wrestling.
Yeah. I liked him taking the hat, though. I'll give him that.
Well, the whole crowd was chanting "Take the hat," which I think was hilarious. Yeah, but it didn't. It just sort of stood there and stared at him.
Yeah,
didn't take the hat. Disappointing. And then we got another. It was like a squash match. Bianca Belair defeated Kaden Carter.
Oh, Bianca Belair is everything. Like, I don't know what it is. Bianca Belair is just. Yes, it's everything I wanted. She's going to be my fave going forward. Just yes.
Yep.
I don't get it. I can't articulate why, but it's just yes. Kaden Carter's great as well, gotta say it. And this match was, for a squash match, it was, they sold everything they needed to sell, and I have no idea where Bianca Belair goes now.
See, I like the position that NXT are in at the moment in terms of their women's division, because you've got Shayna Baszler, who seems like this undefeatable monster. Yeah. You've got Rhea Ripley, who is also going to be that monster slayer. You've got Dakota Kai, the person who's sick of being treated as a nice person and is just going to tell everyone to fuck off. Candice LeRae, who's like the heart and soul of the NXT women's division. Mia Yim, who's just there.
No.
Bianca Belair.
Mia Yim is not there. Mia Yim is... she's the one Mia Yim is the kind of person where you go on a night out with her and she always takes it too far.
I can see that.
Yeah, like...
Poor Keith.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, like, I'm just super happy for the both of them. If you know anything about Mia Yim's life, jeez.
Yeah, and then you've also got Bianca Belair, who's built to be the baddie, the next baddie when Rhea Ripley, when Shayna Baszler moves on. And so you'll have the two top heels, which will be Belair and Dakota, and it will just be fantastic. And I'm really excited for the future of the NXT women's division.
I think they might move Belair to Raw. I think it's the only thing that makes sense. If you consider interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, of course, her husband, Montez Ford, is on.
If you consider the sheer strength and depth of the women's the Raw women's division, they might move her to SmackDown. That would be a rib.
See, I can now imagine it in my head, but if to happen, it's Bianca Belair has a match on Raw with Becky Lynch, whips over hair, and she goes, "Get off me, you little weirdo." I want it.
Yeah,
I want it. NXT was good. Let's move on to AEW.
This podcast, and indeed all TWM podcasts, are brought to you by SquaredCircleBox.com, the only place for your monthly wrestling box needs. With things from superstars from WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, British Wrestling, Independent Wrestling, and loads more, it is the only place that matters if you want to get the best wrestling swag for a low price. That low price is just £25, people. What a bargain! And you can get snapbacks, t-shirts, magazines, DVDs, trinkets, whatchamacallit, doodads, you name it, they have it each and every month. And just because you listen to TWM, you sexy people, you get 10% off your first order. All you got to do is use the code TWM News in the checkout. Just use the code TWM News in the checkout for 10% off your first order at SquaredCircleBox.com.
Why not spread? I said, why not spread the gospel of the TWM squad with some of our lovely merch over at Teespring? We have t-shirts for all shapes and sizes, hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and loads more. Also, just for listening to this podcast, you can get 10% off your order. I said using the code podcast. That's podcast. Once again, podcast in the checkout for 10% off at teespring.com/stores/TWM-wrestling-merch. That's right. Praise. Testify.
Let's batter each other because we're in Texas. Yeah. The Young Bucks took on Proud and Powerful in the main event of AEW last night in a Texas street fight. And they were immediately outnumbered from the start as Sammy Guevara joined PMP in battering them to get the advantage. And Brandon Cutler decided to come out and try and equal the numbers before he just got quickly dispatched by PMP.
Isn't that just Brandon Cutler's life? I have just been quickly dispatched by said
someone much better than me.
Wrestling act and I'm not doing that. That's really crude. Let's move on.
What I didn't realise though was this match was a number one. SC were at ringside. Face the winner next week, so the 18th is soon becoming a very stacked pay-per-view style week of wrestling.
Christmas. What did I tell you? Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. Joe is right. It's Christmas. You've got an AEW World Title match, an NXT World Title match.
Oh, the AEW
tag title match.
The AEW World Title match is not a World Title match.
I'm pretty sure it is.
No, Jericho is only obligated to wrestle on that day, but he's not obligated to defend the title, so that's why he picked the male wrestler with the worst singles win-loss record.
Yeah, well, that means, okay, well, there's not being a title match, that definitely the Jungle Boy's going to win.
100%.
Yeah. Matt Jackson in his tag match with a big brain moment, put on a Cowboys football helmet. Obviously they were in Texas, they weren't in Dallas Cowboys, yada yada yada. Football helmet to avoid being smacked by a socks full of baseballs, as they were hit. As at one point PMP got a trash can, put it over Nick Jackson's head, was one side hitting with a kendo stick, the other side hitting with a sock full of baseballs. Turned around, went to hit Matt, and Matt just stood there, was like,
no sell.
Hello.
It wasn't very effective.
No, and he hit a double spear on a pair of them and got a huge.
And then PMP proved why they're incredible. Stole the helmet off his head, spat on it, rubbed the spit all over the helmet, and then yeeted it out of the ring.
Yeah, Matt did take it off. He shouldn't have taken it off. Yeah.
That was dumb.
But, well, Young Bucks won, and they're your new number one contenders for the AEW title. And I love watching the SCU and Young Bucks stuff. So next week's tag match is going to be pretty flipping amazing.
Literally pretty flipping amazing.
I was rewatching an old match. It's not the correct incarnation of SCU. It wasn't Scorpio Sky. It was Daniels instead, of the Bucks versus what they were at that time known as the Addiction.
Yes.
And the Motor City Machine Guns, and it's just unreal. So I'm very excited.
Didn't you have a bystander with you?
What do you mean?
There wasn't someone watching it over your shoulder?
No.
Well, wasn't that match that someone was watching over your shoulder and they said it was insane?
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. I was watching it at work. Next to me, wasn't doing any work. I was on lunch. I was on lunch. He wasn't, and he was just watching it over my shoulder. And he was like, "Yeah, that's it. That was incredible." Yeah.
I pay attention to everyone, even if I'm not necessarily interacting with them. This is a universe, people. It's a universe.
It is. Yeah. So fully buzzing for next week's tag match. It's going to be pretty damn decent. Another tag match.
What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that the Bucks are going to claim the tag titles?
I don't think that they're going to give it to the Bucks yet. I think it's too early to give it to the what are they VPs of the company?
Yeah, but
I think it's
won't it mean more if PNP take the titles off the Bucks?
It would. Yeah, it would. I can see that happening.
No, but like PNP are like having lost. PNP were the tag team, right?
Yeah,
they were unbeaten.
What do you mean?
No,
elaborate. I thought you were waiting. I was waiting for.
No, they haven't been pinned. They hadn't been pinned before this match.
Yes. They haven't. But like this is obviously a little bit of obviously this does affect their record because it's an official match, but it's not a 2-1-2 tag in tag out traditional tag match. So obviously that kind of protects their record. The one issue I have with Bucks winning is that next week it's going to be face versus face.
Face versus face works better than heel. Well, no, heel versus heel can work if the workers involved are like absolutely incredible and they know their characters really, really well.
Yeah, it's true.
But face.
But I do you know. I would actually.
Well, I get the feeling whoever heals it up first will be the team that we are meant to be rooting for.
Yeah, I like to take your idea and flip it slightly. I would like to see PNP be the ones that win the titles from SCU, and then Young Bucks defeat them, because PNP have been a thorn in their side, and it's just sort of like, is that like good feeling moment of Young Bucks? Yay, we've got one over on them.
Yeah, I think that's why they didn't put PNP forward to fight them this time around, is because it's the Christmas show, and no matter what, they want to send people home feeling happy. Thus,
yeah, true.
Face versus face.
Yeah, actually, do you know what? You've got a good point. You've got a very good point. We had another tag match on the show last night. Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page defeated Kip Sabian and Sean Spears. Interesting end to the match. Lights go out right at the end as the two legal men are reaching for tags. Lights come back on and Joey Janela's at the top of the ramp with Tully Blanchard, who's been tied up.
Like, if I was Tully Blanchard, I wouldn't get Sean Spears to be my backup. I'd just call up my daughter because she's on a tear, and I think that anyone in the world would be legitimately scared of wrestling her.
Yeah, she's a machine. Spears did obviously abandon Sabian to go and brawl with Joey Janela, and that obviously left Sabian on his own to be hit with a Snapdragon, a V-trigger, and then Adam Page blind tagged in the match and hit a buckshot lariat. I actually haven't seen the full extent of the match itself.
Really?
Joe, was it a blind tag of a case of like slap to the back, I'm going in, or is it kind of like...
It was a blind tag. It was a blind tag.
Yeah.
And so they're really... So Omega and Hangman are really successful tag team together.
The thing is that the tag team you don't expect to be so like out the members of the Elite, they don't expect Omega to be so pally with Hangman.
Yes. So
Please.
But like I can feel the turn in my bones, you know?
Oh yeah, I want to see a heel Adam Page.
Yeah, like you can feel the turn in your bones. It's not really much for him to be doing at the moment, so like I feel like that's the obvious way to go. But clearly not just yet. Omega's fairly accepting of it, so I reckon it'll go down at well, we're yet to talk about that, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We'll talk about it a little bit later on. The rest of do you know what? There's actually a stats card. I've just read back through my notes to the ones I've written down, and there was a lot of matches last night. Not so much storyline work, but a lot of matches.
This is what
John Moxley defeated.
Sorry, carry on.
This is a conversation we were having off. This is a conversation we were having off air of AEW. Lots of matches, not much going on storyline wise.
Yeah. 100%.
Pro matches, yes. John Moxley defeated Alex Reynolds at the end of the match. Chris Jericho comes out, flanked by a circle, confronts John Moxley. Obviously, Moxley's been vying for an AEW World title shot. Jericho's been running scared because he don't want to face him. He told the Inner Circle to stay on the outside of the ring. He was like, if we wanted to ambush you, we would have already done it. You know, they're out there. They referenced a lot. He referenced a lot of their time in WWE. He's saying, you came to me 10 years ago with your Kurt Cobain style mop bucket haircut, I think is what he said.
Yes.
Trying to figure out how to get over. They went out, and I think what he was referencing was a night that they did the Ambrose Asylum match.
Yes.
They referenced Mitch the Plant.
They did reference Mitch the Plant. I saw, like, before I watched AEW back, I saw a tweet that said that they didn't, but they very clearly did. A $50 per potted plant. That's Mitch.
Yeah, that's Mitch. They definitely referenced that and their time in WWE. And before Jericho said he wants Moxley to join the Inner Circle, he gave Moxley an Inner Circle t-shirt.
Do you think
I hope that doesn't happen?
Do you think he takes the deal?
No.
I'm not sure.
No, Moxley carries. I think Moxley carries over that Dean Ambrose-esque character in the sense of he will go to do it and then he'll hit a paradigm shift and just walk off. Like he does his whole shaking his head, getting twitchy, and walks off. It was also nice to see Jericho not namely reference her, but he did say, "Go home, talk it through with your wife." Obviously, Renee Young. So a nice another reference to his former career.
I really enjoy the fact that Chris Jericho is pretty much the only one in the company who can do this, because the Inner Circle is meant to be a dig at Vince anyway.
Yes, it is. Chris Jericho's being at the moment a dig at Vince McMahon. He is just a dig generally. Everything he says is a dig at that company. We got the debut in ring of the Butcher and the Blade.
The Butcher and the Blade! The Butcher and the Blade!
I think it's a very weird name for a tag team, but it kind of works.
Like if one of them's the Butcher and the other one's the Blade, it makes sense. But all it makes them sound like is that they're a tag team that are making it very clear that they're sleeping with each other and very clear what the configuration is.
Hold on. Which one's a Blade? Which one's which? Is Blade?
Well, a Butcher uses a blade, doesn't it?
Yes. I'm so confused. They defeated Cody and QT Marshall, who I actually didn't realise is a producer for AEW. He also hit his own version of a Sasuke special, which, if no one knows, is the Will Ospreay cartwheel, or Will Ospreay and Ricochet cartwheel moonsault over the ropes. He did a cartwheel and then basically just rolled over the top rope.
I was going to say, wasn't it more of a Fosbury flop? But what would that? No, Fosbury flop is the one where you run and then you flip over the rope. Right, got you. Yeah, was it?
It was. He literally did a cartwheel and just.
What's the guy's name? What's the
just
guy's
rolled
name?
over the top rope.
Sorry, remind me.
Gone.
Not Sasuke. What's the guy? The guy who did the move. What's his name? I've forgotten.
QT Marshall.
What can we call it? The Marshall maintenance.
He did get caught up and distracted by the bunny, Ali in this match.
The bunny, the butcher, and the black. Flipping Excalibur, man.
Yeah, Excalibur makes me laugh. What was the most interesting part of this match was after it ended. They seem to kind of be making Cody look like a loner. He's not really entangled anymore with the elite stuff.
Right.
He's been ousted by MJF, by Chris Jericho. Obviously, they've pushed him aside and made him look like a reject. He was attacked by Butcher and the Blade. He only got QT Marshall because he was attacked by Butcher and the Blade.
Sorry, every time you say it. Carry on.
Darby Allin came down to the ring, brushed straight past
the Butcher and the Blade.
The opponents of Cody got into the ring and shook Cody's hand. So there's going to be. It just shows that Cody has one friend in the company.
This is one of my big problems with AEW. I know that Cody acknowledged it. Was it last week where he cut the promo and he threw all this really expensive stuff on the floor and said, "MJF, take my shit. I just want to fight you."
Yeah.
But it makes no sense for, in particular, Cody and how could I have blanked on the net? Brandy, there we go. Makes no sense for Cody and Brandy to be as diametrically opposed ideologically and aesthetically as they are.
I really want them to just be. I want them to be the Cody and Brandy we got in Ring of Honor and New Japan.
I don't necessarily think that's the way forward. However, Cody is presenting himself as corporate good. So why is Brandy kind of representing herself as like almost
evil?
Like be corporate evil, be power suits, be power suits, be smarming your way into title shots, even though wins and losses are meant to matter in this company. Be that instead of this weird
because they don't want to do the typical heel authority figure. They don't want to do a rerun of the authority because that was Triple H and Stephanie. They don't want to do that. They want to do something different. So I think they're trying to be apart and have their own storylines.
The pseudo cult stuff is really weird. Like, how has Cody sat at the dinner table and gone, "What's this cult doing about? Why is there a
why is Awesome Kong eating dinner?"
Like, at what point does Cody not go, okay, so like, I have to watch every episode once it's done, right? I know I've got a lot of stuff, but like, why is there a guy in the Nightmare family? Should I be worried?
I like the fact that they're giving and she's not just Cody Rhodes' wife.
No.
I like that.
Brandy's incredible, incredible on the mic and everything, and she 100% deserves the spotlight that she's been given, like as a talker. Just don't have her work that much.
Yeah, no, I agree. I can't remember if this is her debut or not, or if I've just seen her. Big Swole. Big Swole. She defeats Emi Sakura, who is just slowly becoming the absolute bitch of the women's division. She just loses every week.
Wow.
She's the Kurt Hawkins of the women's division. Emi Sakura.
Like, she just had a title match, man.
But she lost it.
Her name. Put some respect on her name. Like, if you lose a title,
Zack Ryder.
If you lose a title match, like, this is the thing. You call her Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins are still technically the number one contenders for the Raw Tag Team.
Yeah,
Raw Tag Team titles, and they haven't even taken their shot yet. That's how much of a jobber Zack Ryder is. At least Emmy got there.
Yeah. Actually, you got. No, you got.
It's just like, but I like this because Big Swole is a new signing, and you are pseudo right. If you watch AEW Dark, you will have seen a lot of Big Swole. But this was her Big Swole. But this is her TV
Dynamite debut.
Network, Dynamite debut, and geez, like, yeah, I love the former Ariel Monroe. I do. I think she got all the charisma in that couple.
Very nice. Speaking of charisma and speaking of the best thing on AEW, it's two best things. Chris Jericho is one and Luchasaurus is the other. He was scheduled to face Sammy Guevara. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager comes out to the ring to commentary, kicks Excalibur and Tony Schiavone away and says the only man that's worth a damn is Jim Ross. Has he been watching the same AEW we have?
Well, it's clearly a very, very heel move because he didn't kick one of them off and have Jake Hager stand behind him as his heater. He kicked both of them off and turned it into a two-man booth.
Yeah. Again, see, I told you, everything he does is a shot at WWE. That's a shot at WWE.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Everything he does. Luchasaurus did win the match with the Extinction. Not surprised at all because he could eat Sammy Guevara for dinner and still need more food.
But he wouldn't because he's got a master's degree.
Yes, he's a very intelligent gentleman. After the match, Jake Hager and Chris ran to the ring to attack Luchasaurus, which obviously brought out Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy. After a bit of back and forth between all six men, Jungle Boy and Jericho were the only ones left in the ring. Jungle Boy hits a Hurricane Rana, pins him. Marco Stunt slides into the ring, counts a 3, and gets an almighty pop. And Jericho just has a tantrum like he always does.
That didn't count, he said. There were a lot of things that Jericho said during commentary and the stuff in and around this match which were incredible. I'd also like to shout out the captions that it gave each individual wrestler this week. Kip Sabian had hellbent on defeating the Elite, and I do believe that Hangman Page
drank a bottle of whiskey on his
last Wednesday. Yeah, balling.
Oh, that's so good. I think he actually tweeted that. He actually tweeted that on Twitter.
Yeah, he did. I believe he captioned it, "Who did this?"
Yeah, he said, "Who did this?" Because it said, "Drank a bottle of whiskey at home alone last Wednesday." Yeah. Poor Hangman. Poor Hangman. Well, he's going heel soon anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Going through some stuff, man.
I've met the man. He's a lovely gentleman.
Really? Whereabouts?
He's a lovely guy. I went a couple of years ago at Crystal Palace Sports Centre, and it was when Cody and the Bucks and he were there, and they did a meet and greet. So he and Cody were stood next. Brandy was there as well. Brandy's lovely, and I just sat and chatted to Cody Rhodes about how much Adam Page looks like Stephen Amell for like 5 minutes, and he was just stood there going, "No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't." And me and Cody were like, "Yeah, you do." I met the Bucks as well. The Bucks are brilliant. I asked them to do Too Sweet and they said no, we're not allowed to.
Wow.
So they were like, we'll just flex instead.
We'll just flex instead. No Too Sweet. Just
best 50 quid I've ever spent.
Well, to be honest, in Crystal Palace, just flexing is just enough, isn't it? Anyway, let's
more or less. We got the first pay-per-view announcement of 2020 for AEW. It's called Revolution, and it's February 29th, so a couple of weeks after. No, it's not. Yeah, a couple of weeks after NXT Trees.
Yes.
NXT TakeOver Trees.
Yes,
because they moved NXT TakeOver to Sunday now. I was trying to think that doesn't matter. AEW is still on Saturdays.
Oh, what? The NXT pay-per-views on a Sunday? Right, they've
moved into Sundays now.
Automatically lost like 5 stars from me. 5 stars. Any of the ratings, it's just automatically just gone. What the heck is this like?
Well, it's because they're not doing NXT TakeOver and the pay-per-view Sunday. They're doing completely independent.
Yeah, but no. NXT's biggest selling point was the fact that they did their pay-per-views on the Saturdays. Nah.
Yeah, so we didn't all have to get up for work on Monday.
Yeah, bollocks to this. That's what I'm saying. No, I very much appreciate them stealing the name of a former NXT pay-per-view. takeover.
Yeah, wasn't it We Are Evolution? Wasn't it called?
Our Evolution, yeah.
Our Evolution, yeah. Our Evolution. It's basically the same.
Capital R, no space, Evolution. What does that spell?
Revolution. Love it. Apparently they said that it's going to be the best pay-per-view yet, which is going to take some beating because they've had some pretty decent pay-per-views of 2019.
Pay-per-view has changed the promotion forever, which is the way
massively.
This is the way that pay-per-views are meant to be.
Yes, like 4 or 5, 6 at a push each year. It just obviously means their builds take longer, which I'm fine with as long as they don't rush it.
Yeah, but less of this wrestlers randomly floating in a vacuum and doing nothing, please. Speaking of which, the jobbers that lost to Jon Moxley, are we going to cover that?
Alex Reynolds?
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is.
Are we going to cover the Dark Order promo?
You can slide that one in right now.
Well,
do that.
Yeah, it cut to them after they lost to Jon Moxley in record time. The guy who lost, his TV got hacked by the Dark Order, and it's like they're trying to convince him to join them. And his tag team partner walked in, probably too late.
Is that John Silver? Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
the Beaver Boys. Yeah.
So
it's hilarious.
We might be getting new additions to everybody's favorite.
The Dark Order.
Yeah,
but no one's going to know it's them because they're going to be the little masks on that sit down, that will kneel on the floor, so Evil Uno can sit on them, and then Angry Dos can come along and do the same.
Well, the fact that they actually focused on the natural wrestler this time suggests that it may not be the case.
Yeah, well, I've said this many times on previous podcasts. I cannot connect with the Dark Order. It's taken me so long to want to connect with them.
I think
because the way that they were debuted.
I think that the way that they're going about things right now is gold.
Oh yeah, they've corrected themselves.
100, it's gold. The fact that they actually look like a cult as well. And for some reason, trust me, I know about cults. They really like the way that they present themselves on the internet. Like
I know what cults are like. Trust me, I know them.
Yeah. If you go to jointhedarkorder.com and then you look at any other pseudo-famous cult in this internet era, the websites are surprisingly similar. It's really, really funny.
Well, that's just an insight into Joe's life, right there. We'll gloss over that one. On to the final part of AEW to speak about, and probably one of the biggest parts of AEW, MJF just being an absolute dick.
Yep.
Because that is what he's best at. He gets an employee in the ring who was at MJF last week after he was hit with a crossroads and said, "You'll be forgiven if you kiss my ring." The employee kisses the ring and still gets hit with a crossroads. And then he just talks shit about Cody for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and he makes fun of his lisp as well. Like that's a low blow.
That's a really low blow, daddy.
That's a really low blow. Do you know what? I love MJF for I used to work with a woman, like an older woman, like years ago, who was a wrestling fan, but she was like in her 60s, and she was still a wrestling fan at that point. And she used to tell me of stories of when she was younger. She used to want to leap the barricade and slap the wrestler in the face because they were such a heel.
Yeah.
You don't see that nowadays in anyone except MJF. He's the only wrestler you watch nowadays you just want to slap him in the face.
Yeah,
and it's brilliant.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean.
Yeah.
I can think of wrestlers in smaller venues that maybe provoke that kind of reaction, but more or less, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, he is just a hateable human being. Now, especially he's got Wardlow as well. He did agree that he's going to have a match with Cody at some point. I don't actually think he announced a date, but he said he won't tell anyone the stipulation until January 1st, 2020. So I'm assuming that's going to build up to Revolution or our Evolution.
100%. Do you find it interesting that MJF has his like the kernel of his own little heel faction going on already?
Yeah, I love it. He's got two, him and Wardlow, and I'm soon he's going to just get...
No, the Blade, the Butcher, and the Blade,
and the Bunny,
and the Bunny,
and then the way to split, and then the way to split them up is to make a storyline. The way to split them up is to make a storyline that he's been sleeping with the Bunny.
Oh Lord.
Golden TV.
Please no. Like, you've already messed up one alley with an animal association. Let's not do both.
Yeah, that is. That was fun. Let's compare the two, Joe, shall we? Joe, it's that time, and you're new here.
What time? I mean,
Chico time.
You can get delirious if you get not too serious.
Oh, I wish I hadn't done that now.
No,
Joe,
you should.
which show was better, AEW or NXT?
NXT, and I'm biased. I have been an obsessive fan of NXT since before my first live wrestling match, which happened to be NXT Takeover London. But
you went to NXT Takeover London?
That was my first show, yes.
I hate you. I wanted to go to that show and I dislocated my go.
Oh, so how did you dislocate your elbow?
My knee. I tried to do the worm on a night out, and I just get my knee.
It was self-inflicted.
It was self-inflicted.
Some dickhead didn't come up to you and just punch you in the knee, so you couldn't go anymore.
No, I never bought the tickets. I intended to buy them. No, I didn't. I lied. I intended to get them for Christmas. And because I just kept my knee, I couldn't go. So, meh.
Well, there we are. But I really, really like AEW. I liked the show this week quite a lot. It debuted one of my favourite wrestlers ever.
We forgot to talk about the other debut on A.
No, was it The Butcher and the Blade?
No, Vicky Guerrero.
What?
Vicky Guerrero was on AEW. I completely forgot to mention it.
Where?
Dark, I think. Hold on. Let me just Google it quickly.
Excuse me?
I saw a picture. I saw a picture of her and Cody together. But yeah, so basically, I think she did a one-off commentary spot on. She made a one-off commentary spot for the episode of AEW Dark, but she made an appearance on AEW Dynamite as well, just as it went on the air, because it was based in Texas and she's from Texas.
All I'm going to say to you right now, George, is that TWM have quite an interesting history with Vicky Guerrero.
Why?
I feel like it's not my place to say.
Well, that's a conversation for off air. Continue saying how much you love NXT.
I love NXT and I really enjoyed AEW, but I'm going to give it to NXT because I feel like it furthered things, you know? Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, we also skimmed over. You know what? It's really tight this week. We also glossed over the Pac promo where he promised consequences next week.
Yes, you're right. We did.
But yeah, it's really tight this week, man. Like, you give me your decision. I might take my NXT back. I've already said it, but like, I might take it back. You give me your decision.
I'm gonna go say NXT because of what we spoke about in between segments about there being a purpose to a lot of the NXT matches because it's storyline building, whereas AEW is still in that stage where they're just trying to put matches out to try and create a few storylines. Obviously, they've got the whole Chris Jericho, the champion storyline, and you've got Cody and MJF. Other than that, it's sort of there's not much taking over the show, whereas with NXT, you've got Undisputed Era's continuous reign over the whole division. You've got Finn Balor's return to NXT and him trying to prove he's the best and basically taking no fucks for it. You've got Keith Lee just being Keith Lee, Tommaso Ciampa's hunt for Goldie, Mia Yim, Candice LeRae, and eventually Tegan Nox's redemption on Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai wanting to be an independent woman and be just a dick. You've got Rhea Ripley and you've got Shayna Baszler. There's so much going on in NXT. This week's edition for me was better, and mainly because of the main event triple threat and Angel Garza and Lio Rush.
Well, AEW are trying. They are trying.
They're trying.
They are trying.
Yeah, they're getting there.
If you let me list off story threads this week, you'll see. You'll have Jericho inviting Moxley to join the Inner Circle. You have Brandy Rhodes clearly building the Nightmare family to be someone. You have the implication that Cody doesn't have a friend in the world, but Darby Allin coming out to join him. You have the Dark Order possibly employing already established face jobbers to their cult. You have Big Swole beating Emi Sakura, who you say is a jobber, was actually, as they stated several times in commentary, the number 3 rated female on the roster, therefore putting her right into the title picture.
Who's number 2?
Who's number two? Number 2 is Britt Baker. There's a match between Statlander and Baker next week. Hello?
Well, okay.
There's MJ,
I'm still going to stick with NXT.
Yeah, I know. There's MJF just being a dick. There's story stuff to sink your teeth into. Also, they're clearly building some sort of war games match between the Inner Circle and the Elite, and I don't know when that's going to be, but it's going to happen.
Joe, sorry, I didn't understand what match that was.
Which match?
War Games!
War Games! Oh, I see. There. It was a joke. It wasn't a recording issue. Okay. But AEW are trying. And if I ever come back on this podcast in the future, I do genuinely believe at some point we'll be so invested in AEW's characters that we...
Oh, yeah. I fully agree.
But I think this week, NXT shades it. It's not an emphatic one. It shades it. But mostly because, like you said, it's actually just because of the first match on NXT. That match was incredible.
Yeah, I think the other reason I would pick NXT over AEW at the moment is the feuds are more established, whereas obviously AEW are a little bit like they're still in that baby stage. They're still picking them up. Give it like 3 weeks of what they're doing at the moment, and AEW might shit all over NXT, because if this Cody and MJF feud hits peak, it's going to be incredible. If what?
The one thing that NXT has over AEW, I think, at the moment is roster depth as well, because every single member on that roster has on the NXT roster has a story, and we don't see them every week.
Yeah, it's like there's some AEW roster members I've never heard of because they haven't been featured as prominent since the start. The first example for me would be Chris is it Statlander or Statlander?
Statlander, seriously, just swat up on your indie female.
I didn't really know much. Obviously, now she's prominently appearing.
The thing that I most enjoy about her, apart from the cartwheels, is her clear rip-off of E.T. by Katy Perry as her theme.
Love it. But yeah, so... Yeah, I agree with you. NXT just about scrapes it this week because of the Cruiserweight title match and that triple threat match. Because it was just absolutely incredible. And you've heard myself and Joe waffle on for like 45 minutes about both shows and then started talking about other random stuff, so we're going to leave it here for you guys. Do not forget to follow us on the socials at Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, all at TWM Wrestle. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Acast, Podbean and YouTube, and anywhere else you do get your podcast from. Over on twm.news right now, there are lots of lovely articles for you to read, and the only ones I can think of off the top of my head is my own one, which is which brand should John Morrison return to NXT.
As the guy who edited that article, it is a good article. However, as the guy who edits most of the articles, I'd also like to point you towards I always say it wrong. Is it Day or anyway? But yes,
we had this conversation last weekend. On what
he has previewed chapter 99 for Progress out in Sheffield this weekend, so I'd recommend you go and read that. There is also an article that should have gone out while we're on this podcast about the times, we live in a time where a lot of these older commentators are being absolutely...
You beat me to the part. This is the one I was about to say.
Absolutely rinsed. But so this is an article from our very own Adam Van Winkle talking about times that JR enhanced a call.
We've also got rebooking Sting's debut in WWE from James. Lovely article there, especially about one of probably the best what's it called, legends to not fully be associated with WWE. So who's NXT breakout? Well, Wyatt as Swerve Scott is NXT's next breakout star by Shalene, and we've just got so much going on, guys. Just absolutely tons of articles for you to go and have a listen, read, and then listen to me and Joe while we're at it. While you're at it,
single podcast that we have coming out almost every single day of the week, people. Yeah, it's a good time.